Hey, how's it going? It's Saturday here in Reno and I'm out for a drive. Just got off the phone with a new client. We just landed a new SEO client and just wanted to share a little bit of their nightmare story, this challenge that they've been going through for the last 6 months. I'm so glad that they finally looked me up and called me. I give free 15-minute SEO consultations for everyone. It doesn't matter if you've got a 5-page website or a 40,000-page Shopify store. I'll give you a free 15-minute call just to try to help you out. So let's hop in there. So they have a fairly large website in Reno. They're in the dental industry, and they do a lot of surgery, implants, braces. A fairly large firm. They have a really good reputation in Reno, a lot of great reviews. They've been around for a number of years, which is all good for SEO, especially Google SEO. Well, about a month and a half ago, they launched a new website, right? They had been working on it for about 5 months, and they hired a huge marketing agency, a really fancy ad agency in Reno, well-known, well-respected ad agency in Reno. Paid over $27,000 to redesign this 310-page website. The site looks beautiful. It's a huge improvement over what they had. Their old website was dated, like 1990s vibe, but it worked. It was ranking well in Google. Well, after they launched the website, in about a month and a half, about 6 weeks, they noticed the phone stopped ringing. And they're like, what's going on, right? What is going on? Well, the office manager, she went and did a Google search for best dentist in Reno, which they had been ranking for. And to her horror, they were nowhere on the first page of Google. They weren't even on page 2 or page 3, which is, that's pretty bad. Whenever I see something like that happening, that's usually they got banned in Google, right? They worked with some cheap SEO firm and they did some black hat SEO stuff, and they just hurt themselves a great deal. Well, this wasn't the case. Anywho, so she started searching for other keywords. It's like, oh my gosh, we searched for our brand name and we couldn't come up for that. And that's when she knew that, okay, this is serious, there's something going on. So they called the advertising agency, who, they're closed today. And so she's like, you know what? It's really hard to get a hold of that ad agency. I'm going to try to find someone that's open today. And we're open. We're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Well, anywho, so they called at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, this is different. This must be really serious, really important. So I picked up the phone. I say, hey, Sandy here. How can I help you? And she's like, look, we really need your help. Our website, she was talking really fast. She's stressed out. I was like, okay, take a deep breath. I've been doing this 23 years. I work with a lot of clients and I have a lot of experience. I haven't found a website that I haven't been able to repair yet. And so I was like, okay, what's the URL? Which I'm not going to share it. Keep things private. So she gave me her website address. It's not her website, it's her boss's website, a team of dentists in Reno. Anywho, so I take their website URL and I put it in a free tool. The free tool is gtmetrics.com, and GTmetrix will test how fast or how slow your website loads. And sure enough, their website took over 47 seconds to load. That's horrible. That's horrible. Your website should load in under 4 seconds. Any SEO expert worth their weight in gold will tell you that your website should load in under 4 seconds or less. And I'm one of them. I'm in that camp. And so I was like, okay, that's a huge part of it, but that wouldn't have been enough for them to completely lose their rankings, So I said, hey, do you have access to something called Google Analytics? And she's like, I don't know, I think so. I haven't logged in a while, which is common. Most businesses don't monitor it because it's so technical. Anywho, and I was like, okay, well, do you have the username and password? She's like, oh, it'll take me a while to find it. Well, I go and I look at her website and I view the source code, and I did a search for Google Analytics, and sure enough, the ad agency had forgot to reinstall Google Analytics tracking code and on their website. That's horrible. That's bad. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I can't look at Google Analytics anyway, even if you have the password. So let's go ahead and I'm going to use another free tool. And this free tool, it's from Google, and this tool will test to see if your website is mobile friendly. Mobile is huge. I can't stress that enough, right? So if your website is not mobile friendly, you're losing at least 80% of the traffic that you would normally get for your keyword. Right. So anyway, I go to Google and I search, is my website mobile friendly? And then I put Google after it. And so what comes up whenever you search for that is a little text box, and then you can put in your website address. So I put in their website address, click submit, and sure enough, their website is not mobile friendly. I'm like, wow. This ad agency charged $27,000 to redesign this 300 plus page website. It takes too long to load. It's not mobile friendly, and they didn't install Google Analytics again when they relaunched the site. That's like newbie stuff. That's like, are they outsourcing their web design work? It's a little suspicious. Anywho, so I immediately proceeded to tell her, okay, this is what's going on. This is part of what's going on, because there's other things going on. And I would need to have, username and password to your website and your Google Analytics to really troubleshoot what's going on, do a technical SEO audit. But quickly, I see that your website's taking too long to load and it's not mobile friendly. That's almost everything. Google has over 200 ranking factors that we have to be responsible for and monitor. It's like a moving target in SEO. Google updates 600 times a year. They change the rules to some varying degree, so it's a lot to keep on top of. But you get a system going and you go with the flow and you get going correctly with everything. But anywho, but just for that free 15-minute call, I was immediately able to see 3 huge things that they need to have corrected. The great thing about those 2 free tools, like GT Metrics and Google's free mobile testing tool, is that it will tell you what you need to do to fix it. But the problem is, the things that they tell you to fix are very technical. So unless you're a technical SEO expert or a web designer, or a web developer like myself, it's going to be almost impossible for you to even understand what they're asking you to do. But the 2 things that you want to focus on are pretty simple and straightforward. Is 1, did my site load in under 4 seconds? 2, is my site mobile friendly? Yes or no? And then you can decide, okay, this is what I need to do next. I need to call an SEO expert and get this fixed as soon as possible, safely, right? And so that's something that we're going to be starting Monday, and I'm pretty excited. I would love if they would let me use their website as a case study, but most clients don't. They don't want their competitors to know what's going on, and I totally get that. But again, let me try to explain how important mobile is, right? So I'm going to ask you right now, you can comment below, are you watching this video on an Android or an iPhone or an iPad? Or are you watching this video on a desktop? I'm really, really curious. So I manage about 96 SEO accounts for clients, or I don't do their SEO, and I just, like a good web designer, install Google Analytics for free on their website design or website redesign, just so they can know what's going on with their business. And so I have access to about 96, a little over 96 Google Analytics accounts. And every now and then I'll log into everyone's account and see how many of their users that are visiting their website are on a mobile device. And across the board, it's 80%, 60 to 80%. That's a lot. I manage accounts for SEO accounts for celebrities, hospitals, Shopify e-commerce stores, small mom and pop shops, or custom artist stores, or dentist or neurologist. I'm all over the place. I focus on anything related to business. I also do some work in charity, nonprofit work, and all of them, most of the traffic, most of the people that are visiting their websites are on a mobile device. Another thing that you need to consider. So I hear this a lot, right? So someone will call me and say, hey, I need a quote for SEO. Our competitors are kicking our butt. I was like, what do we need to do? And so I'll do a free 15-minute SEO audit, and I'll say, hey, your website's not mobile friendly. And almost every time they'll say, well, it looks good on my mobile phone. I'm like, you're right. It probably does. But there are thousands of versions of mobile devices that we have to design and code for. Thousands. The top 3 are Google Android, iPhone, right? And even with Android and iPhone, they have different versions, right? Because you have different phones, you have different applications. There's a lot of variations. So just because it looks okay on your phone doesn't mean it looks good on your customers or your new customers' mobile devices. So using these tools like Google's free mobile tester site, you can get a feel for if you're meeting most of those requirements with Google. If you're not, you're really just leaving a lot of money on the table. You're behind the times. So, but anywho, if they allow us to do a case study, I'm going to update this video and I'll share it with you. If not, I might just find another large dentist firm in the US somewhere that isn't a direct competitor and maybe do something similar, and then teach you, what do you need to look out for, and how can you protect yourself? Because it's so hard. You think that if you're spending almost 30 grand on a website redesign with a big, well-known marketing agency in Reno that does work for the state and for huge hospitals and, a lot of famous people, you think that they would do a good job for you. And sad to say, it's not the case. You have to be responsible for your own business, and that includes your website and your marketing. So there are a number of free tools where you can keep your marketing or your SEO person or company honest. And GT Metrics and Google Mobile Testing Tool are just 2 of those free tools that you can use. So I'll do another video on how to vet an SEO company or an SEO expert, because that's important as well. If you're not an SEO expert, you really don't know what to look for, right? So you interview these SEO companies and you think, oh, their website looks cool, or oh, they did work for some big fancy whoever, they must be good. Doesn't mean it. 90% of the time, large ad agencies get SEO wrong. They're used to doing PR. That's their world. That's old school marketing. So digital PR, digital SEO, influence, social media marketing is new to them. And most of them are outsourcing to someone like me, right? So, anywho, protect yourself. It's your business. You worked your butt off for this business. Don't just throw it away. Anyway, if you need help, you can give me a call, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. And most of the time I pick up the phone, and I'd be more than happy. I love this stuff. I'd be more than happy to at least give you some advice and pointers on what you need to do and to protect yourself. All right, hey, have a good weekend. I'm heading out for a hike, but I will be back Monday. All right, take care.